Hey there everyone, Laksharaj here, and in today's video we'll be creating out a REST API using ExpressJS and Prisma. Okay, let us start this video. Okay, first of all we need to do something like we need to create an Express application npm init -y. Okay, now after doing this, what we need to do is we need to install some packages. Now these packages have been already install, I think so. Okay, wait a second. I need to do npm I express. Okay, and then after doing npm I express, I have to add also Prisma client. Add Prisma slash client. Okay, then we need to add decrypt JS JSON web token. Okay, JSON web token cookie dash parser. Okay, JSON web token. Then we have to add the cookie parser. JSON web token cookie parser course dot env. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. Okay, so npmi minus t prisma and no more. Okay, now after doing this, let us create out a server.js. Okay, now I have to create a src. Inside the src folder I'll create a app.js. Okay, now in require, okay, require what we will require, we'll import the express module. Okay, module dot exports is equal to, let us have a create app function, return, okay, const app is equal to express return app. Okay, express should be called as a function. Okay, now let us import that to this root server.js dot slash src slash app. Okay, now we have to bring the create app function. Const app is equal to create app. Sorry, create app. Const port is equal to const port is equal to let us say we are calling it on 5000 port, or the port available in the env file app.listen at port number console.log. Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us go here and let us create an API app.get slash API. Okay, now, okay, now let us create a routes folder. Inside the routes folder, let us create a user.routes.js. Okay, inside here, import Like a route, rest.json, hello API. Okay, inside app.js, let us directly use that. app.use, app.use slash API slash v1 slash auth. Okay, now we are ready to call upon the API. Now you need to install a software called Postman so that we can make our requests easily. Okay, it's just loading. Okay, so you can see actually this is the web version of Postman. Okay, postman.com/downloads. Now you can see we are heading up onto the downloads page. You can see we are going for the Postman app. You can also try for the post. You can also try out the Postman on the web, but it only allows the hosts, means the hosted wants to make a request. Like you can have a domain, uh, the domain of an API, then you can make the request. You cannot make a request to the local host from the web. You need to install the Postman app in order to test the local APIs. Okay, so after installing, the interface will look something like this, and you need to log into your Postman in order to save your collections. I have a bunch of collections. Let us close that. And so we close that. I work on a bunch of projects. Don't save. Okay, now not in this. Yes. Let us create out a collection, a blank collection. Name it as ExpressJS auth REST API. Okay, I request. Let us make a request to let us configure some variables. Okay, API. Okay, now let's directly go to the API slash auth. Okay, now let us send the GET request. We're getting hello API as simple as possible. Okay, now let us define some. Okay, and let us create a fake data. Okay, now module exports is equal to users. Okay, now let us go ahead and create a register route. Okay, call the post. I think I missed out a double quote. Okay, now after doing this, what we need to do is we need to actually bring out the app dot use to use the express JSON parser middleware. Now you might go for some body parser, but it has brought a by default support for this express.json. Okay, now it's by default using the body parser middleware. Now you can do something like this rest.json. You can do something like request.body. Okay, now let us send some data. Now here you need to go to raw and you have to select JSON data type. Okay, now I'll be setting the data and you can see it's telling that cannot get slash API slash p1 slash auth. Now, if I'll try to make a post request to slash API slash auth slash register, then we'll send it. We can get the body, the request.body. Okay, now let us just destructure everything from the request.body. We'll consent the username, the email, password, and the confirm password, C password. Let us call it a C password. We'll be destructuring them from the request.body. Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us just check out. Okay, so let us just go ahead and bring in our const users is equal to require. Let's bring in our dot slash let's say users. Okay, so we are having the users. Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us check out const access is equal to users dot filter user user dot. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let us bring out some fake data from JSON placeholder. Without that, we cannot do anything. Okay, we need to have some initial data before we go ahead and access the properties of, okay, password. Let us say, let's add 123. Okay, let us say this is, okay, user dot username or else user dot email must have also the email part. Let's say this is the email. Okay, now this will be the email of that particular user. Email. Okay, filter returns an array. We'll take the first element. Okay, now if exists, let us go ahead and return. Let us do one thing. Rest dot status 400 the JSON. Okay, message this user already exists. Let us create a success variable. Okay, else if let us say that the passwords do not match, let us send this success variable from here. Okay, passwords do not match. Passwords do not match. Okay, I'm getting some error. Let's remove this unwanted comma from here. Let's try out this API. Okay, send it out. User false. This user already exists. What the heck is happening here? Cannot set headers after they're set. Where it's occurring? It's occurring right after. Okay, so I have to remove this rest.json. Okay, false. This user already exists. Why it's happening? Okay, so I need to check that. Okay, so it says that passwords do not match. Now we need to do like we need to send the password as well. Okay, else let us do one thing users dot push. Let us take the uh, now we are definitely not going to send the entire array of users. Let us see, we are getting this too. That's fine. This fake API really works. Okay, so we need not do that. Okay, we'll not do that. We'll not use any fake API. Rather, let us do one thing. Let us initialize the Prisma client. Okay, npx Prisma init. Okay, sorry for wasting your time, but that was necessary. Now let us go inside the Prisma schema.prisma. Let us change the provider to sqlite. Okay, define the user's model, string id, default UUID. Okay, we'll store the username. Okay, username will be string at at unique. Email password. Password will not be. Okay, now let us say we'll have a updated field date time at the rate updated at created default now npx. Okay, now let us see what's happening. It's trying to generate our migrations. Now it has generated the schemas. Basically now you can see the inside, like you have the at the rate Prisma inside client. You have all the like generator build index.js. Now I think we need to find the user schema here. Okay, so this is the particular file where all of our generated schemas are stored. Okay, let's close this and I don't what else follow. Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us try to find from the user. Okay, from the user model that we have now created. Now let us call the await. Sorry, not await. Did I mistake? It should be async. Okay, await Prisma. Now let us do one thing. Let us define a config prisma.config.js. We need to store it inside a config folder. Okay, I'm following out the industry standards. Okay, let us put it in the config folder. It automatically imported for me. Now let us go and do prisma.user.find unique. Okay, let us provide where or okay. Now let us go ahead and let us do one thing. Let us just wait prisma.user.create. Okay. Now indeed in production you will not store plain passwords, plain text passwords. That could be a huge means a vulnerability to your security part. In instead we'll generate the hash using the bcrypt algorithm. Okay, so if you remember we had installed the bcrypt.js module. Okay, let us remove this js from this part. Okay, now let us see if we're able to generate a wait bcrypt.hash. Then we need to provide the password, then the salt length. Okay, so salt adds an extra security to your password. Now username, data. Okay, data, it's a data username, password, and not password actually, email. Password will be stored as hash. Okay, now not semicolon. Semicolon is not required. Now let us say change the success to true. Okay, now after creating a document, you need to send a status code of 201. Okay, in JSON part, you need to send the success message and then you need to send that user account created. Okay, now let us send this data. We need to provide the email. Email will be my primary email. Okay, let us provide a comma. There is some error in the why it's throwing any error. Where user unique net at least of one or ID user marked with now. I need to see the documentation for Prisma dollar or I think this is the proper syntax now. Uh, Let us head to the official documentation instead of referring to AI. Okay, now let us see what is how it works. Email. Okay, let us see what is happening now. I think we need to use with the find function. I think this should work now. Send the request. Okay, so we are getting the user account created. So we need to actually provide the find first method instead of the unique method. Okay, Okay, so now it's trying to filter out using the username. Now, if I'll send it again, you can see this user already exists. Actually, we need to send more specific message that username or email already in use. Okay, now let us send the request again. Username or email already in use. Okay, fine enough. Okay, now let us go ahead and just create out a route for user log router dot host slash log. Okay, you can absolutely go ahead and implement some functionalities like email verification, password update, and many more, but we'll be not going through that procedure now. Okay, so this is a simple authentication backend that we're going to be making with this ExpressJS and Prisma. Okay, now let us try to find out const user is equal to wait Prisma dot backup dot compare, then user dot password. Okay, so if check password, let us create a success variable. Now message should be you have been logged in successfully. Okay, now let us go for the error handling part. Let's add a new request, copy this URL, paste it here, host. So inside the body part, let us go to the raw and pass in the username. Send username or email already in use. What is the okay? So I need to send to the login API, not the register API. Okay, you have been logged in successfully, but that's not all. We need to generate the access and refresh tokens. Let's get above and go create a URLs folder. Inside URLs, generate tokens.js. Okay, generate token.js and let us rename it dot URL.js. Okay, imports JSON web token, not sorry, require. We're using the GWT, okay, JSON web token, module dot exports. Okay. So the access token payload will contain the user ID and the email part. Okay. And then we'll have the const refresh token underscore payload that will only contain the user ID, none other than that. Okay, only it will contain the user ID. Okay, now let us go ahead and uh, just do one thing. Okay, let us go ahead to our terminal and go to the node. Type in node, we'll get into the node console, create some secret keys for our web tokens, get into the env file. Now this env file has been automatically generated by Prisma. Okay, access token secret. Okay, so we'll have some four keys, key value pairs. Okay, we'll keep the 15 minutes validation, or even if shorter than that. Now, as short as possible, which is always good to keep the access token expiry as short as possible. Now, the fresh token expiry may exist for 1 day, 30 days, or 365 days, or even for like 10 years, as you wish, but we'll be keeping for 30 days. Now, this refresh token and access token will be rotated each and every time whenever we hit the refresh endpoint. I'll be showing you how to do that. Okay, now const access token is equal to, let us call the jwt.sign method to create the token. Access token payload now will provide the secret key. Process.env dot access token secret. Okay, expiration will write here access token expiry. Okay, now let's copy this down to this part. Refresh token. Okay, refresh token payload. Instead of writing an access token, we'll write here refresh token secret. Now we need to return both of these, access token as well as the refresh token. We need to return both of this. Okay, now we need to import the cookie parser middleware. Okay, let us go ahead and import the cookie parser middleware to set the cookies. The parser. Okay, now let us go ahead and app.use cookie parser middleware. Now let me do one thing. Let me also just bring in the course middleware. Okay, so the course middleware will also be available with the origin set to star. Now you need to change this to your host. Now I'm giving a wildcard, but that is not just app.use course. I don't think I have imported the course package. We need to import that course. Not like that course. Okay. So credentials. Now we are going to set HTTP only cookies, so we need to go for this credentials true part. Okay, now let us go ahead and just in case let us const is equal to generate access and refresh tokens user dot bring in the ID and the use dot email. Okay, so let us get in the access token and refresh tokens. Access token and refresh token. Let us set the cookie rest.cookie. The name will be refresh token. T will be small. Now the value will be refresh token that we are bringing in here. I think I have not provided any asynchronous function here. Okay, now let us go ahead and set the max age. Max age will be at most 30 days. 30 days into 24 hours into 60 minutes into 60 seconds into 1000 milliseconds. Actually, this adds to the 1 second. Okay, now we are setting the cookie with HTTP only true, and the secure part will be only available for production. Process.env dot node env is triple equals to production. Okay, so until and unless we are inside a production environment, we go to this and copy this down, set the initial node env to develop. Okay, close this. Now, what do you mean by HTTP only cookies? HTTP only cookies means that these cookies can be accessed using JavaScript methods. Like if attackers are coming up to your website and doing something like document.alert, window.alert, document.cookie, or injecting any harmful scripts to your website to just get your cookies. So the HTTP only cookies will be ignored by the JavaScript methods. Okay, so that's the thing we need to do. Now we are going to send the access token. Let us try this out. Send, and we are getting a error. Wow, amazing. What error? Access token is not defined. Oh, sorry. I need to do here process.env. Process.env dot access token. Now let's see. Check. It's sending. Wow, we are getting the access token. Let us check out. We'll go to a website so-called jwt.io where you can check out your encoded tokens safely. Now you can see we are getting the user ID and the user email. Let us check out the cookies. Wow, it has already set the cookie, the HTTP only cookie. Let's check this cookie as well. We're only getting the ID. Nice. That's the thing we need to do. Okay, I'll be changing the secrets. Don't worry. Okay, the secrets will not remain the same. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me just copy this and create a .env.example file so that you can get all the examples. Let me erase this. Okay, now close this down. Close this down as well. Okay, Okay, sorry, there are some disturbance. Now we can see we have created the method, and let us create out a method to just log out the user. Now router.post. Now you might ask that we can do the same thing in the front end also, but we need to do everything from the backend. Okay, let us just will not have any asynchronous function here because we're just gonna remove the cookies. Okay, const cookies is equal to request cookies. Okay, so if cookies, now we'll get the refresh token cookie. Okay, if that exists, just rest out clear the refresh token cookie, nothing else. And rest.json. Let's do one thing. Let us send this rest.json 200, and let us send this logged out successfully. Else, let us send an unauthorized request 401 unauthorized first. Okay, unauthorized request. Now let us create the success variable. Let success is equal to true. False, sorry, false. And after clearing the cookies, let us set the success to true. Okay, well enough. Now let us go ahead and create the save this request. Add a request to logout user. Logout user. Host, we have to provide the logout user. Send it and logged out successfully. We can see we have no cookies left right here. Now, if I'll try to send the request again, we'll get the unauthorized request error 401 unauthorized because the cookie has been deleted from our server side. Okay, now let's go ahead and just put semicolons after each method. Okay, now let us go ahead, copy this down. Okay, we'll go for the refresh token endpoint. Okay, this will be asynchronous function. Okay, now let us go ahead and if request if we're getting the cookie, let us do one thing. Let's clear this out and const decoder is equal to JWT. Now we need to import that as well. Require JSON web token. Okay, now let us go ahead. Const decoder equals to JWT dot verify cookies. We'll get the refresh token. Then we'll need to provide the secret. This is the process dot env dot refresh token. Sorry, first token secret. Now you need to know one thing that if you're gonna be changing the secret, you can no longer just authenticate your users using the old secret. Now we have the secrets. Now if I'll be changing these two secrets, will no longer be able to authenticate my users through the JWT tokens which have been already encoded using these two secrets. Okay, so be careful if you're just changing these token secrets. Okay, make sure that your users are not also already logged in using those tokens encoded with these two secrets. Okay, now let us go ahead and bring in the user. Const user is equal to await. Now we are storing the ID only. Okay, so we'll do Prisma dot user dot find unique. Okay, find unique. It will take the where and will take the ID. Okay, let's decoded.id. You need to ensure that this property already exists in your token, otherwise it will may throw error. Okay, now let us take that if now const user is equal to wait prisma.find unique. Okay, const is equal to generate access and refresh tokens user dot id user dot email access and refresh tokens. Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us just set, let us remove this success variable from here. Okay, let it be there. Okay, let it be there. Let us remove this message from here. Okay, after generating the key, the tokens, let us make the success true. Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us try out sending a request without the refresh token cookie. Okay, now refresh token. Let's call out the endpoint. Fresh. Okay, send the request. We're getting 4 not found error. Okay, so this will be the post request, unauthorized request. Good enough. Send the request again and it will set the cookies. If I'll send the request, you can see we are getting the access token and it will be rotated each and every time I make any request to this particular refresh endpoint. Now let us do one thing. Let us create a controllers folder. Okay, no, not like that. User.controller. Okay, let us copy and paste everything. Let me do one thing. Let me just do here module. Okay, I'm gonna be resolving all of these errors that are occurring right now. Let us remove the semicolons from here. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'll provide a comma. Okay, inside objects, you need to always provide a comma. Okay, so this will be refresh token. This will be an async function expected comma. Okay, so this will be, okay, let's remove this extra bracket from here, also from here. Okay, this will be logout user. Okay, now let me just remove all of, let us resolve all of these errors. Okay, router.post. Now this will be, okay, let's see. Let me remove this express from here. Okay, now we don't need all of this thing is right here. We don't need anything right here. Okay, so now just right here const is equal to require dot slash the controllers and the user dot controller. Okay, now let us bring in all of the methods: register user, login user, logout user, and then the register refresh token. Okay, so we are going to be replacing all of these methods with the particular controllers. Okay, now this will be, sorry, not login user, logout user. Okay, and this refresh token controller. Okay, now you can see that we are writing a clean code. Okay, let me just make a uniformity, maintain a uniformity for the code. Okay, now you can see we are getting all of these controllers. Okay, now let us do just one thing. One thing. Okay, now I'll do just one thing. Let us test the APIs. Okay, let's send it. Okay, so it's working. It's also working. Logout user. Okay, refresh token. Okay, we have already logged out. Okay, now we are good to go. Okay, let us do one thing. Let us convert everything to the industry standards. Like we are going to be converting each and everything to type module. Let us provide type module. Okay, now it's the time to convert everything to type module. Okay, now let us go ahead and control X from Express. Okay, let us parse. Okay, import Okay, now we need to change everything here. Okay, now let's remove this module dot exports. Okay, now okay, now everything is well and fine. Export const user controller is equal to register user, login user, logout user, and refresh token. You might be thinking, why did I do first of all in the comma.js method? Now I am doing like in the ES model method. Now I wanted to show you two different ways how you can create a server, right? Wait a second. Okay, user controller dot. Okay, so controller dot. Now let us import router from Express. Okay, Now let us remove this const. Now in the ES model type, you need to like const router is equal to router. Now let us do one thing, export router as user router. Okay, now let us see if we're getting any errors. Now inside the config, Prisma config, okay, we need to also change this import Prisma client, not from extension. Okay, export const Prisma is equal to new Prisma client. Okay, export const Prisma is new Prisma client, and inside the utils, export const generate access and refresh tokens. Okay, now let us go ahead and fix everything else in the user controller. I think we had the common JS model. Okay, import Prisma from, like dot slash config slash prisma dot config dot js. Okay, now we need to bring in here Prisma, import decrypt from decrypt.js. Okay, JSON web token, we need to import JWT URL slash. Okay, now generate access and refresh tokens. Okay, well and enough. And let us see if we're having any errors. No, not yet. Now I think import JWT from JSON web top. See inside server.js, inside app.js, everything is good. Okay, we're not using any ES module imports now. Okay, we are not using them. Let's remove those from here. Okay, now let us try to run our server and let us see if we're getting any errors. Now, content side models to treat as a common JS script. Where is the error? Okay, so inside the app.js, what we need to do is import. Okay, so inside the user route, as user router, okay, so we need to do one thing, import user router from this, and we need to call in the user router method, user router. Okay, save it, and we are still getting error, cannot find module dot slash ss. Wait a second, we need to provide the full extension of the file. Module not found. What's the error? What's the error? Export const feedback. Address. Okay, now I think everything is working fine. Send the request. Okay, send request. Everything is working fine. Okay, so now you have seen two other methods of creating a API. You can always start creating with the common JS and end up converting each and every code to each an ES model type. Okay, now let us push this code to GitHub. Okay, let's push this code to GitHub. GH auth login. Actually, I need to log into my different account. Okay. To log in with my different account. Okay, so let us push all of the code in it. Let us make it public. Okay, now I think our code has been pushed to github.com. Let us access it. Okay, you can see this is my ExpressJS auth REST API. Okay, so now you can see where we have used 100% JavaScript. Now, no other languages have been used. Okay, so you can see particularly this schema.prisma. Okay, and many more things. Now, I think I have not yet reset the database. I will reset the database and push it again on GitHub. Thank you so much, guys, for this video, and I will see you next time.